Welcome back to Crookie Books. Here with another episode, and this is special for two reasons, Michael. That I get to talk to you, but also I'm naming these episodes now.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna call it the Kruckshelf. My last name is Crookie, so it's gonna be called the Kruckshelf. This will be on the title of the episode, Kruckshelf Episode 1. So welcome, Michael, to the first episode of Kruckshelf. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Dude, I'm honored. Like, I get to be here on the inaugural episode.
Yes.
I had no idea going in. I'm pumped. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
No problem. Okay, so first off, tell people where they can find you. Tell people about your book. I want to hear about all of that. And then we'll get into your podcast and some of that stuff too. But let's hear it. Where can people find you? Talk about the book. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So, first of all, hello, folks. If you don't know who I am, I'm Michael Vadney. I am host of the Author Adjacent podcast. But more importantly for today, I'm the author of this bad boy, Crownfall, which is a noble dark fantasy adventure. It is about a thief, a noble lady, and a magical engineer as they are radicalized against the viceroy of their nation. And this nation has been taken over by a foreign empire for about 10 years. So there's a lot of political intrigue. We got some awesome action because I'm a big R.A. Salvatore fan. I had to throw in some action. But also there is a slow burn romantic subplot that is just the cutest damn thing that you ever saw, mainly because I like romance as well. And yeah, it's been out since last April. It's been doing really good. I'm very happy with the results of it so far. And it's just been really exciting to, one, be able to get on shows like this and just talk about books and talk about the journey so far. But two, also to just get all of that feedback from people out in the wild who are picking it up and making a post or review. It just warms my heart. And to find me, you can find me on pretty much all the social medias. I'm mostly on X, Instagram, and TikTok as Michael_Vadney.
Yes. Awesome. In the short time since we kind of just met through social media, I really like your content. It's just,
thanks, man.
It's well done, it's clean, and I enjoy it. And also, congratulations to Michael, 100th episode of his podcast, which is insane. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you. That was really fun. We celebrated with my first ever live host. So, you just rolled right into this live. You seem very experienced. And I've been on a lot of lives. But when I did the 100th episode of Author Adjacent, that was the very first one where I was the host. And I'm just I hope nothing goes wrong. And it went really well.
Yeah, no, I thought it went really well.
Thank you for watching.
Watching the replay. Well, I caught some of it live, then I was like, I'm going to have to play video games now. So
That's
I watched
totally
the replay
fine.
later. But that was really good. So.
Thank you, man. It was a really great fun to have Philip and MJ and Nicholas on there. They're all previous guests that I've had on the show, and they're all also podcasters, so they kind of understand the significance of getting to 100. And it was a really good feeling to finally be at that level.
Yeah. When you first made, episode 1, what were your thoughts? Were you just hey, I'm just going to have a conversation with somebody and see where it goes?
Yeah.
Or how was it when it was episode 1?
Episode 1, I didn't even have the inkling of the idea that I would be interviewing people. The first, I want to say almost dozen episodes is just me, where
Okay.
I would learn something about writing, and then I'd make an episode about it. And I'd just be like, hey, I just learned about all these different tropes. Let me tell you about them. I just learned about story structure. Let me tell you about it. And it was just a way to kind of interact with the book community without having a book yet.
Okay.
Because I wanted to interact. I wanted people to know who I was so that by the time Crownfall came out, I would already have an established presence. I wouldn't be starting from nothing. And it wasn't until I started talking to Adrian M. Gibson where I was just oh, interviewing people is actually a lot easier than all the prep that I have to do for these other things. So let's go with that. And now it's mostly that.
Yeah. Random question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
Do you think it's less work being interviewed? I mean, preparing for that, or doing the interviews? Because I found, of course, it's not that much work. I write some questions. I think about it intentionally, of course, but when I would go on a podcast, it's like, wow, okay, I'm just sitting here just answering questions.
Yep.
Like, this is so
Yeah.
nice. Like,
I will definitely say it's a lot easier to be the guest, and mainly
yeah,
because like most of my episodes are not live. So after the recording is done, my work is really just beginning. I got
yeah,
to edit the episode and put it together and put all the graphics and everything.
yeah. No, exactly. I was on Philip's podcast, which is I love Philip. Like, huge inspiration of why I made my channel in the first
Yeah,
place.
Philip's great.
How did you meet Philip, and how did you meet MJ? Is that her name, right? MJ.
MJ Kuhn,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, MJ Kuhn, she is the author of The Thieves of Talmora. I always forget how to say that, Talmora duology, but she's also most recently the author of Kill Switch Protocol, which is this really cool cyberpunk indie novel that she's came out with recently. But yeah, so Philip, MJ, Nicholas, all of them I met because just interacting with the online community. I had the Author Adjacent podcast, and as soon as I flipped the switch and started interviewing people, people had a reason to seek me out. Where
Yeah.
they're just like, hey, I would like to be on your show. And I'm like, oh, cool. And just through that happening, through just talking to other authors, either through like Instagram or X or whatever social media, I just slowly started building out my circle with more and more people because I would be in a conversation with someone that I knew online and we'd be talking about a book and then someone else would show up. Oh, I will say one time I was doing that. I was talking about Brent Weeks. I don't know if you're familiar. He has got the Night Angel trilogy.
I've heard of
I
him.
think it's a
I've heard of
series
him.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got the Night Angel series, and then he has another series that I really like called the Lightbringer series. And we were talking, comparing those two things, just a group of people online. And then all of a sudden, Brent Weeks joins the conversation in the post, and I'm just like, oh shit, this is an option. Things are
Yeah.
real now.
That's wild. I think that's by far the coolest thing about the book space. I was just watching
Yeah.
um, of Darkness and Light. It's book 2 in Bound and the Broken. And
Yeah.
I was watching discussion with Philip and Talking Story, whoever, and Ryan Cahill just comments, is, hey, blah, 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 here's what's going to happen in the next, he doesn't tell what's happening in the next book, but
Yeah.
he comments on there. I'm like, this is so cool that everyone can interact with authors,
Mhm.
and they're so reachable. I
Yeah.
know, I guess, like, when they get to a certain point, it's a little more hard, but I think that's so cool that you can just sit down and talk
Yeah.
about what we love. I think that's the coolest thing.
It's one of my favorite parts about the book community in general is the stars are so much closer than you expect them to be. Like
Yeah.
you can reach up and just touch the sky and just have that little piece of glory for yourself. And it's just
Yeah.
like, wow, they're just real people. And I
Yeah.
know that's a dumb thing to say, but it's
No.
still shocking to realize.
No, I mean, look at me. I'm interviewing Michael Vadney, so that's step one for
Thanks.
me.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I want to ask some podcast questions.
Yeah, hit me.
Because 100 episodes in, you've definitely done it way longer than me. So someone's just starting out podcasting. What would you recommend? Any advice that you'd give to someone starting out a podcast? It could be about books. It could be about something else.
Yeah.
Whether that's like technical stuff, like what they should get, mics, camera, lights, whatever. Take it away. Is there any advice you'd give to someone just starting out?
Yeah. So the advice that I really give for anybody trying to take on a brand new thing that could infinitely grow in complexity is start as small as you can. When I started the Author Adjacent podcast, it was audio only, and I released an episode every 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I can manage to record a half-hour episode every 2 weeks, get the editing done, and post that up. There's no video, so I don't have to worry about lights. I don't have to worry about the camera. It's just me and a mic, and I'm just talking into a camera or
Yeah.
talking into the mic. And those first episodes, like I wrote like scripts for them and stuff like that, and I did what I needed to do to be comfortable. But the bar to like start is way lower than you think it is. You don't need all this fancy stuff. I didn't start with these cameras. I didn't start with the lights and everything.
Yeah.
I just started with a mic like this, which this is a K688 by Fifin. It is a very affordable mic, less than $100,
Cool.
which, as you see from other mics, they can get very expensive.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and this is perfectly good enough for a podcast. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually recording my audiobook on this, and it's
nice.
working just fine. Yeah. So I would say my advice is start small, and then when you get comfortable with that level of work and you think you can take on a little more, take on a little more, and just take baby steps to where you eventually want to be.
Yeah.
When I started Author Adjacent, a big inspiration for me was Daniel Green because I was watching a lot of his stuff, learning about how to build a platform and build an audience. And he had a lot of transparency posts that he used to do. And that was just one of the things was like, he would talk about it all the time. He's like, I didn't start at this level. I started with just a crappy webcam and
Yeah.
built from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the best advice I can give as well, is just start small and just take on a little bit at a time.
Yeah, and this is something so great because when I was listening to your 100 episode Author Adjacent, I think you mentioned, doing the audiobook, but like one of the things you're doing is learning like so much. Like it's really hard for you, but like every day you learn something. So like let's just say 100 days from now you're gonna be like so good at doing audiobooks, which is just like
That's the
so
hope.
rewarding. And I have that same philosophy when I do YouTube. It's like sometimes I try to burn myself out. I'm like, how do I fit all this information into my head and do it perfectly on one go? It's like it's not gonna happen. Like I'm going piece by piece, and I think seeing like my feed, like it's definitely gotten better. It's not perfect, but like it's the goal. It's the process, like you said.
Yes.
So I think that's like so fun and so cool that you mentioned that on your podcast. I thought that was great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you don't have to go that far back to find videos of me where I look like I am in a bio-waste zone where my skin is orange because my lighting is just so bad and I couldn't figure out the white balancing on my camera. And I literally look irradiated. And it's just like, yeah, you try something. If it works out, great. Keep going in that direction. If it doesn't work out, maybe try to figure out what went wrong and try it a different way. Like, it's just such an iterative process where you just do what you can when you can, and you will succeed because you're enjoying the process. And when you feel motivated by each little step, you're going to keep walking.
Yeah.
I mixed in a lot of analogies there.
No, that's good. Okay, question for you.
Shoot.
What's the most rewarding part of having a podcast for you? Is it the guests? Is it just being a part of a community? What is it for you?
It's definitely the conversations because a lot of times it can feel very like inorganic or very forced when you're trying to start relationships with people through like online social media and stuff like that, where it's just like people put a post out and it doesn't always feel genuine and real. And that's nothing against no one. It's just we have so many degrees of separation between I can see you, you can see me, and we're talking to each other in real time.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to replace that with I'm looking at a static screen and you're looking at a static screen and we're typing. Like there's just so much nuance that you lose. So this is my favorite part because I get to interact with people in the book community. I get to talk about things that I don't get to talk about in real life because of just different interests and proximity for whatever reason. But now, because you and I are here, I can grab a book from the shelf back there and be like, have you read this? And we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's just really fun. That's easily my favorite part.
Okay, awesome. All right, I want to start asking you about Crownfall, because like even you were talking about it. It's just like it's so much work to put all your passion into one, 400, 500 page book. Like I just think that's amazing. And the more I read, like this is why I also started the YouTube channel. It's like there's some great minds, including you, which like I want to talk to about like their work and about how they think, because it's so interesting. Like I can't even fathom like putting my thoughts into a whole entire book. It's like it's wild. But okay, walk me through. When did this idea start for Crownfall? Take me back to like when it started, and then 10 drafts. I heard you talk about 10 drafts. So yeah, walk me through it all.
So going way back to about 5 or 6 years ago at this point, I really started to admit to myself, like, okay, Michael, you've had this dream for your entire life. You have the things taken care of that you need to take care of. You have a career, you have like stable finances, like nothing is on fire. This might be the time to finally start doing that thing that you've always wanted to do. And So I started doing a lot of research into like how to do that, and that's when I started the Author Adjacent podcast and started building a platform. But I also started thinking about what the heck was this going to be about?
Yeah.
And the first version of it, I knew I wanted to do a story where an empire was occupying an island nation. I knew I wanted three characters, two men, one woman, the classic like Harry Potter trifecta kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was going to be inspired by R.A. Salvatore and Brandon Sanderson as like my big ones because I've read so much of them growing up throughout the years. I did a lot of the online courses that Sanderson does on YouTube, and I've been reading R.A. Salvatore since I was like 13, and I'm like 35 now. So a lot of Salvatore up in this
Okay.
head. So I knew I was going to be inspired by those. But what the characters were back then are radically different than who they are now. So I have the three characters. The magical engineer, this guy, he was originally a Templar like character. He was also in his like mid 30s or 40s. He was much older, very different, very stern. But now he is a genius magical engineer. He is in his mid 20s, and he has had his morals rocked. He's trying to figure out how does he defend the things he believes in when he doesn't have the power to defend them. And that's the start of the story. That's how he gets there. But that transition from this holy Templar coming through, and then now he's just this not so sure of himself magical engineer. And then I had my other two characters who started out closer to who they became, but were a lot more ephemeral. I didn't really have a lot of the tactile details of who they were as people and as characters. And luckily, while I was like trying to put the story together and I was trying to build up the confidence and the discipline to make this a real thing, my wife looked up meetup.com and she said, "Hey, there's this writing group. They're going to start meeting tonight. You should go."
That's so cool.
I was terrified. I didn't want to go. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. But she convinced me, and I went. And there's only one other person there, the founder of the group. His name is Miguel. He's an amazing guy. He runs the Writers Anonymous group in Dallas, Texas. They still meet every Tuesday, I believe, at like various bars and stuff like that. Great group. If you're looking for a writing group in Dallas, highly suggest it.
Okay.
But I met him, and he asked me questions about my story, and he was very interested in what I had to say and what I thought I wanted to write at the time, and I decided to keep going with that group. And for the next several years, I worked with them to pump out the first 3 drafts of Crownfall. It was through them that I learned, like, who was Amara? Who was my noble lady? Oh, she's a spider queen. She's very competent, but she's kind of ruthless. Who is Kindel, my angry magical thief? And what kind of person did they want to become in the story? And it was through them that they created this demand on my work. Every week they expected something from me, and I'm like, oh, I can't let these people down. They're expecting something from me.
Yeah.
And that was huge. Like, I highly encourage, if you are comfortable enough, and even if you're not, try to push yourself to join a writing group, because you'll learn so much about like what you're good at and what you're bad at and what you can do to improve.
Yeah.
Simply just by hearing what people have to say.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. This is kind of unrelated, but in a similar vein.
Nah, hit me.
But you know, as I read more books, like one of the coolest things for me is going like, hey, why do I like that book?
Mm-hmm.
And like having that discernment and being able to analyze. And a lot of it truly is watching Philip Chase, and he has like a video series about this.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know why it opened this like door for me. It's like, oh wow, I love Bound and the Broken because of X, because of the scenes where they're just sitting in an inn and talking and blah blah blah. But then it shapes my like reading journey. It's like, okay, I really like this, maybe try this. Like, but same thing with writing. I think it'd be really cool knowing what you're good at, knowing what you're not so good at. I feel like that'd be so rewarding.
It can be. It can also be incredibly frustrating. Like,
Yeah.
learning any new skill is going to be both. So kind of just like giving yourself over to the process and understanding that this is going to be a journey of 1,000 steps with that good attitude really makes a difference. And I will say, like, analyzing what you read and figuring out why you like it and why you don't like it is huge. It's the second best way to learn to write. The
Okay.
first being you actually writing.
Yeah.
So
Um,
like highly encourage that attitude, man. You're learning how the
yeah.
sausage is made and it is awesome.
No, that's like one of the coolest things. And I talked to, I think you know, do you know PL Stewart?
Yeah,
Author?
PL Stewart.
Okay. Amazing guy. Um, I interviewed him, but he was talking about that skill, and
Hmm.
it's just amazing. I'm finding out what I like, but he gave me the encouragement. He's like, you should write something one day, and I was like, I've never really thought about it, but the more I read, I'm like, wait a second, like there's some cool stuff that I might want to put in a story one day, like,
Yep.
and I've
That's how
I've
they get
never
you.
never thought about writing, like it's
Hmm.
never crossed my mind, but the more I read, I'm like, wow, like I really want to put something on the page, like this is really
Yep.
cool, like, so who knows, maybe one day, um, but I mean, congrats to you, like that's just so cool.
Thanks, man.
Um,
No,
so
but like I encourage you to like keep reading, keep thinking about like what you like and what you don't like and why, because uh, two things will happen. One, you will eventually get to the point where your preferences will become secondary and you'll be able to look at a book and go, this isn't a book for me, but it's a well-crafted book because you'll understand the mechanics of what went into making it, even if it's not something that you particularly enjoyed for its entertainment value. Other people might. And then the other thing is, like, as you're reading and you start understanding how pieces fit together to create a narrative structure,
mhm.
that's when you go, this is a cool idea, but what if you took it in this direction? And that's how the
Yeah.
bug gets you where you start writing.
Yeah, no, that's so exciting. Okay, so when you got to that 10th draft, how
Yeah.
did you know like it was the one? Like, was there something in it you were like, okay, this is ready for publication, or how was that when
Yeah.
you got to that 10th one?
I will say a big part of that is definitely working with my editor, who is my wife. She
Awesome.
does not let me be lazy, and I really appreciate that because I
Yeah.
have an inclination of like, it's good enough, and she goes, no, we can do better. You can do better. Come on, let's let's think of this, and you can write a different version of this.
Okay.
And she was 100% right. Like, I don't think I always appreciated it at the time, but in retrospect, like, I sing her praises all the time now about it because it is a very frustrating process. The editing process is my least favorite part.
Yeah.
I love the outlining. I love the drafting because everything is perfect and it fits together because everything is mushy and it can fit together. But
Mhm.
when you get into the final stages of editing, everything is a hard cut puzzle piece. And if
Mhm.
you change the shape of this piece, it is changing the shape of all the pieces around it. And you have to think about a lot of different things all at the same time to make sure that they all fit. And I personally have difficulty keeping that many thoughts in mind, which is why I'm an outliner. I like to write it all down and kind of offload a lot of that thinking onto the page.
Yeah.
But when we got through the 10th draft, I think I think we knew the 10th draft was going to be the last one around draft 8. We were
Yeah.
like mid draft 8 and we're like, "Okay, this is the goal of draft 8. This is what we're working on. You'll probably need two more drafts after that. One more to do this and one more to do this, and we're pretty sure it'll be done then." Because at that point you're very intimate with your book at that point. You know
Yeah.
all the chapters, all the pages, the characters, the nuances. It's a lot. Like you're constantly thinking about it. And
Yeah.
you get a good sense of like what it needs at that point because you are living, breathing, dying this story.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, big question for you.
Hip-
Because I think about this a lot,
Mhm.
especially like with my passions and what I enjoy in life. Because you mentioned the goal is to be full time
Yes.
full time author. Um, First of all, how are you going to achieve that? Like, what's the roadmap for you the next 5 years? But also just talk about like, sometimes it's super hard. Like,
Yeah.
making this a full time gig. It's your passion for sure, and you want to make money doing it. That's like the
Mhm.
goal for sure. But how do you make that a reality? Because like, I also have like dreams of mine too, and I want to make them a reality as well. But what's your philosophy? Like, what keeps you going? Like, talk about that, I guess, because it's super interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of stoicism. That's my bread and butter for how I live a lot of my life and how I keep a good perspective on a lot of things. Where it's like, yes, I have this end goal, I have this place that I want to go, but I need to make sure that I enjoy the process getting there. It's just like with the Stormlight Archives and stuff like that, like Journey Before Destination. I think that's a big reason why a lot of people like that series. It's just
Yeah.
there's so many good life lessons in it.
So many. Yeah.
But as far as like trying to become a full-time author, like what that will look like and versus how I think that will look like is probably going to be two different things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just like giving yourself over to the process and just being okay with what success is might be different than what you're thinking right now.
Yeah.
Like recently, I've been getting into the narration stuff and narrating Crownfall and narrating some short stories for Moonlit Getaway, which is an online journal for like practice and stuff like that. And there could be a road forward where success looks like that, where most of my financial stability comes from that, and I get to write on the side. That is also a marker of success for me. I would love that. Like, I've since expanded my goal to, it was originally, I want to be a full-time author. I want to write books, I want to sell books, and that's how I want to make my living.
Yeah.
But as I get further on the road and I see like other people make that leap to full-time, what I'm noticing is they don't throw all their eggs into one basket. It is a full-time creative. Not necessarily a full-time author, but we're doing other things too.
Yeah.
Like Adrian M. Gibson, he writes. He's had his books coming out, but he also does interior and exterior design for books. He also works for Grimdark Magazine, being the like design director for the novellas that they're printing and stuff like that that have been coming out. And he's got his hand in a bunch of different areas, but they're all creative pursuits. And I've kind of since expanded my goal of success to something like that. Like, I don't know, maybe if I narrate Crownfall and I love doing it, maybe I'll start narrating other people's stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, my goal is to hopefully do that within the next 5 years, but we'll see.
Yeah. Is that also like, of course, you making content will only help it'll help your brand, of course. But is that also maybe an avenue that you could take, like, if that started making money? Like, it might already start making money. I'm not really sure how all of it works, to be honest. But
Yeah.
Is that like an avenue, possibly?
Oh, it definitely is possible. Like, and you can get monetized on like social media platforms and YouTube and stuff like that. Like, that's how Daniel Green makes most of his money.
Yeah.
Is he has an amazingly huge following on YouTube. He's been doing it for I think almost 10 years at this point, and I can't say I know his financials personally or anything like that, but I would imagine most of his money comes from the YouTube that he does through his episodes, through his shorts, through his social media followings. You can get monetized through that. And if that option became like available to me where I was just like, oh, I could do this and it would be enough to support my mortgage and my bills and the lifestyle that I would like to do, then yeah, I would be totally fine with that. Because I love doing the podcast. It is a lot of work, but it is something that is really fun. So that would be really cool if it suddenly became like, okay, I could become an author full-time. I could then also narrate, and then I could do the podcast, and like those were my three things that I supported myself with. I would love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
We'll see if this next series of books shoots off and that becomes the main breadwinner, or if the narration does, or if for some reason the social media and podcast blows up. Like,
Yeah.
just being flexible and being like, hey, I'm just going to try a bunch of things, and the things that I enjoy doing, those are the ones I'm going to keep doing.
Yeah. When did reading become like a priority for you in life?
Yeah.
Did it come late, or when did it come for you?
Very early, actually. So I remember I was roughly in like third grade, maybe fourth.
Okay.
And I was really bad at school, and you'll notice that theme continues for a long time. I never was very good at it until much later in life. I didn't have the patience to just sit there and be in a classroom. I hated reading. And then my parents gave me The Hobbit.
Nice.
And I was like, what is this thing? I've never read anything like this before in my entire life.
Yeah.
It is now going to be my personality for the rest of my life. It didn't. I ended up getting into other things too, but it was definitely something that like really changed my relationship with reading and stories and stuff. I never got better at school until I was much older and going for a master's degree, but I loved reading. I read all of the Redwall books. I read, like I said, a lot of classics. My library had like The Time Machine and Frankenstein and Dracula, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so cool. And I just went through like R.A. Salvatore reading all of that stuff, and that's a lot of books.
Yeah.
There's just so much fantasy out there for me to consume. And then eventually I got into sci-fi, and now like my big three that I read is fantasy is number one, and then I read sci-fi occasionally, and then I like to dip my toe into a good romance novel as well.
Okay. Do you? I know. I'll talk about this more later, but do you have a good romance recommendation?
I do. My favorite one of all time is right there. It is V.E. Schwab's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
The Invisible. I've heard of this. The Invisible Life.
It was very popular on BookTube for a while and stuff like that, and it is a really well-written book. If you like romance and you like this like otherworldly kind of like fantasy element, it's really cool. Because what it's about Addie LaRue. She's a woman growing up in like, I want to say like the 1300s or 1400s France, and she's about to be married, but she doesn't want to be. So she runs away, and she ends up running into one of the dark gods, and the dark god makes a deal with her. This is not really spoilers because it's like the very beginning of the book. But the dark god makes a deal with her that he will take her away from this wedding. She doesn't have to get married. And he will do all this for her, but no one will ever remember her. And it's like, yes, dude, it gets so good because it's just like, say you and me are having a conversation in the same room right now, and I have the effect that Addie LaRue has. If I round the corner and you lose sight of me, you forget that I exist. So when I come back, I'm a brand new person to you. And she lives her whole life like that. And like, oh, it's so good. And there's a romance on top of that. It's good.
Wow. Okay, so every time that someone leaves sight of her, they forget. Okay.
Not even her looking at them. It's when they are looking at her.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen, speaking of people forgetting, have you watched Spider-Man?
The newest one?
Yeah.
I have, actually.
Okay, do you like it?
Overall, yes. I thought it was really good. I think the Tom Holland Spider-Mans are my favorite Spider-Man films. And I think they are objectively the best. And the rest are popular by the power of nostalgia. Just my opinion.
No, that's valid. Okay, I thought you were going to say, but.
I do have a but. The Hulk shouldn't have been in that movie. I didn't think it was great.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Like, everything was awesome about it, and then it's just like, what is he doing in here? Like,
was it not cool, though? Was the scene not cool?
It was cool. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
Spoilers. I mean, again, it was all over the trailer, but anyways.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody knows that he is there. The extent that he is there, like, what happened with the other characters, I'm purposely being a little vague. Between the Hulk and the other two supers that are in that scene, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I do like that. But what they're doing with the Bruce Banner storyline across the MCU, I'm just like, come on, guys. You just cannot make up your mind of what to do with the Hulk. And that's why I get bothered by that.
Yeah, that's totally valid. And it goes like this for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the Professor Hulk. I think that's my primitive mind being like, I only want him to smash. Like, I only want him to do action stuff. But like, I don't know. It's cool. Like, that's Hulk to me. So like, but I do like when he switches to Banner because it's totally different.
Exactly. The weird middle ground.
Yeah,
like,
the weird middle ground's weird. But.
The weird middle ground is like that is the end of his journey. That's where you hope he ends up is he gets the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But when you throw that in the middle of his journey, you're just like, oh, this is temporary. There's no way they're gonna let this happen forever. Tragedy must happen to this man.
I know. Yeah. He's not having a fun life. That's for sure.
I would not trade places with him. Absolutely not. But I would say that for most superheroes. Like, to be a superhero is to have a lot of trauma.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I want to ask about your favorite books.
Ooh.
So obviously Hobbit is pretty instrumental for you.
Yes.
What are some other, like, let's go top three, in no particular order. Give me your top three. I'm putting you on the spot.
Dude, I was just telling someone the other day that I think the most evil thing you can do is ask a book person their favorite book.
Yeah.
Because it's just an ever-rotating thing of just like, oh, I love all these books.
Yeah. That's the advantage of me being the host today. I get to ask things like that.
And I get to suffer.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
your game. I would definitely put Way of Kings, Brandon Sanderson, up there just because it's just really good. There's so many good life lessons in it. And I won't speak too much on the whole of like how the series went totally, but those first two books are just so solid.
I've
really
only read
good.
the first two.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, Way of Kings is my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the build up in that book was like one of the best things like I've ever experienced in reading. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, it just had me. Every single flashback, I was like, this is so good. And then when it finally, I'm not gonna say anything, but like,
Yep.
it's great.
The Sanderlanche. Yes.
I mean, there's a reason it's coined as that. So.
Oh, it's good. Like it's so satisfying. Like the first time you're ever reading, I have a friend right now who is reading The Way of Kings for the first time, and I'm just like, yes, keep going.
Yeah,
It's so exciting.
I've got like so many. Like, I feel so proud that I've gotten so many people to read Red Rising. Like,
Nice.
it's the easiest recommendation for me, but
Yeah.
my fiance and her family like are all reading it. I'm like, this is so cool. Like my lives are blending now, which is like amazing. But
Yeah.
I've gotten a considerable amount of people to read that book, which is like, that's what I could dream for as a book
Yeah.
reader, to be honest.
Sorry to admit this. I've not read Red Rising yet.
That's okay. That's okay.
And, well, like my big reason is I know I'm going to love it. It's
Yeah.
a given. Based on everything that I've heard, I'm just like, this is so up my alley. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So I have all these other things that I have to read to discover if I'm going to like it or not. And like things I have to read for Author Adjacent Podcast, or I'm part of the judging team for the Spiffbo 11. I'm reading a
Yes.
lot of things for that. So yeah, a lot of things to read. I'm very excited to get to Red Rising eventually.
Yes, that'll be
Okay.
amazing. I want to see your updates on your socials when you do read that.
Yes.
Okay, talk to me about. I always get the acronym wrong because I know PL also mentioned this. SBFBO.
SPFBO. Spiffbo.
Okay, got it. Okay, how is being a judge for that? I know PL explained it to me last time, but
Yeah.
how are the
Yeah,
books you've been reading? Like, do they stack up to what you usually read, or how's that experience been?
Well, like any competition is going to be a mixed bag, but now that we're at the finals, like all of these books are pretty solid. Like
Okay.
not all of them are things that I would have gone out of my way to pick up, mainly because I just don't know that they exist.
Yeah.
And that's really like the cool thing about Spiffbo is that it shines a light on all of these self-published books that people might not have heard of. And that's what Spiffbo is. It's the self-published fantasy blog off is what it stands for. And it's 10 blogs across the internet that judge 300 books until there is only one. And that's crowned the champion of that year. So now we are in the finalists. And when you hit the finalists, all the teams read all of these books. And we all give our ratings. And then the average of those ratings is how we decide that. And the books are really fun. Like, I recently just finished of Makers and Mages. That was really cool, like, steampunk fantasy that I don't normally get into, but I really liked. I've never picked up a steampunk fantasy before, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
Right now, I am reading Silent Fury, which is this really good book where it's like it's an epic fantasy with the trappings of a romance. So it's like, oh, she wrote this book for me. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through that one, and that one's been really cool because it talks. It's got like a really interesting magic system, and the world building and the country. You know how in a lot of books and stuff you have countries that are based on like elements, like words. Naruto, I almost said Navato. Naruto, like Avatar: Last Airbender, and you'll have like the Fire Nation or the Hidden Leaf Village. This one is based off the senses. So you have the land of the touch, the land of sound, the land of I think there's a sniffer one too. I can't remember what it's called at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really exciting judging for it because I'm just coming across all these books that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And I get this opportunity to blow them up on my platform, whether it's author adjacent or with the team together on the blog of Fanfi Addict, because that's the team that I'm on. And I have genuinely found some really good ones.
Okay.
I won't point too many of them out because we're judging these as a group, and everything that I've just said is my own personal opinion that doesn't represent the team as a whole. But it's very exciting. Like it's a great way to, one, just invest yourself into the community, and two, just find books that you might not come across otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. So, Way of Kings is one.
Yes. Ooh,
Okay.
Blood Over Brighthaven
Oh,
would be
I've
another
heard
one.
of that too. I've heard
So
it's good.
good. Yeah, that's
Okay.
by ML Wong. It's got this really beautiful, like unapologetic theme of colonialism and oppression and a little bit of racism, and it's just like it doesn't shy away from talking about these hard subjects because our main character is a woman who's becoming a mage in a society where only men become mages.
Okay.
And by its very premise, you would think like, oh, okay, this woman, she is the heroic figure, all gold and light. And it's like, no, she has biases too that she has to reckon with. And by the end of the book, like, she's not 180, oh, I'm 100% a good person now. It's,
Yeah.
she still struggles with her biases. She still struggles to become the person that she thinks she should become.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to the end of that book, like it is the only book to ever bring me to tears, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is just such an emotional journey.
Oh wow.
That one's definitely up there for me.
I'm trying to think of the last time I was in tears for a book. It might have been Red Rising.
Oh,
I'm not going
I've
to tell you
heard
which
it.
one. I'm not going to tell you which
Mm.
one, but a lot
Yeah,
of
guess-
tragedy. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. God, I really do got to get to that series because I've heard so many great things about it, and it just seems so up my alley.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big fan of just those big, emotionally punching books that have, like, yes, there's tragedy, but there's also hope. Like, I love that
Yes.
mix.
I love that. Speaking of that, have you read Bound the Broken?
I have not. It's
Okay.
also on my list. There's so many good books
Because I
out
just
there.
read Of Darkness and Light, and that's literally the theme of the entire book.
Oh, I love that.
There's a little light in the darkness, and I love that so much. Have you read Sun Eater?
I've read the first two books. So I read the
Okay.
first one, and I'm like, Rocchio's writing is amazing.
Yeah.
But this story is so uncoordinated. But then I heard so many great things, and my friends were telling me like, no, keep going, keep trying, it gets better. It's really good. And then I did the second one, which is something Darkness,
Howling Dark.
Howling Dark, yes. And oof, I read that one. I'm like, okay, now he's cooking with something.
Yeah.
I see the vision, and I know I'm gonna love this series.
Okay.
And I need to get back to it at some point because I've
You-
heard Sun Eater, like the very last one, just rocked people.
It rocked me, but I would say that's more of a priority for you than Red Rising. Like,
Wow.
even though both of them are both amazing, but like
Yeah.
that third book, like I haven't had a reading experience like that in like a while.
Wow.
It might just be
Wow.
because I love political intrigue. I love that sort of story. I'm not going to get into details, of course, but Yeah, that's up there
Yeah.
with like top 5 reading experiences for me.
Wow.
So be excited for that when you
I
eventually get
am.
to that
That's the
three.
very next one I'd get to as well. It's like, whew. Like once this year is over and I'm no longer doing Spiffbo, I feel
Yeah,
like that's just gonna open up the floodgates for me for all these series that I've started or have wanted to start, and I'm just like, all right, let's dig into it, like a big old pile of books, like I'm Duck McScrooge.
yeah. So when you're not doing the judging,
Hmm.
do you usually, kind of mood read, or do you have like a set TBR? How are you when you read?
I will definitely say author adjacent definitely prioritizes my reads a lot
Okay.
because I try to make it a point to read every single guest. I want to have read at least something that you have written.
Cool.
One, it makes it so that I'm familiar with their work and I can have like more poignant questions for them.
Yeah.
But it's also just I just want to be able to give you personalized questions for what
Yeah.
we are talking about. Like, you are my guest, you came on here. I'm going to read something that you have written so that I can ask you about it and I can
Yeah.
hype you up. Because I can always, that's not fair. I can 99% of the time find something that I love in almost anything that I write or
Mhm.
that I read. Because there's so many cool things, different aspects. Do I love the world building? Do I love the prose? Do I love this character? Did that one scene slay me? I will hype you up. I'm always trying to bring like the good vibes and talk positive and try to build up other indie people because guys, it's hard out there and the
Yeah.
algorithm is not your friend. So, I want to do what I can to help people.
Okay. Speaking of other indie authors,
Hmm.
um, have you read the Adan trilogy?
I've read every single one of them. Philip is an amazing
Okay,
author. Like,
I want to hear like your elevator pitch for that because I saw the Broken Binding
oh, it's so good.
version of his book 1, and I was like, I would probably love this just based off the cover. But like,
Yeah.
give me your elevator pitch. What are some themes inside of those books? Because I've always been interested in it. Because like I love
Yeah.
Philip, I love listening to him talk. I was like, he's probably a good writer. But tell
Hmm.
me about it. What you think?
Yeah. Have you read these books yet?
No, no.
Okay. So, how I describe Philip's writing is that he takes classic fantasy, which is sweeping prose, landscape descriptions. Think Tolkien. Think wow, why am I blanking on all these names? Robert Jordan, Sword of Shannara, all of these like classic 80s, 90s, 70s fantasy.
Okay.
He takes all of those things and this great sweeping descriptions, these large plots, and then brings them into the modern era with modern sensibilities. They are clean. The writing is both descriptive and brutal, but at the same time hopeful and beautiful. There's poetry in there. It is it is a story with sweeping plots, and you will be there for the big sweeping plots and the characters.
Yeah.
But then as the series continues and it evolves, you'll find yourself suddenly going like, when did I become so emotionally invested in what is happening here?
Yeah.
At what step on the journey of the reading the story did this happen?
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the third book, that's when it really punches you, when it truly becomes a character driven story. And you're just like, wow, this whole journey was coming here.
Yeah.
And we came here in an unexpected, unorthodox way.
Yeah.
And it's hauntingly beautiful. Like, he's
That's so
just,
cool.
man, Philip can write. Like,
Yeah.
he can write.
No, I'm excited to eventually get to that. Um, very random tangent.
Yeah.
Do you think reading? This is a twofold kind of sentence. Has reading made you more articulate? Do you think? I think the answer is yes. But like,
100%.
the reason I ask that is because I think that's what draws me in to listening to you. Like everything you say, like when you explain Philip's book, like I can't explain books that well. Like you do a great job of articulating, and I think it comes across even in short form. Like I'm like, I'll listen to this 40-second thing. My brain's already fried, and like my listening, what's it called? Attention spans, like,
Yeah.
so bad. But I can listen to people like you because, like, you have a way with words. So, first
Thank
of all, I
you.
just wanted to give you that compliment. But do you think reading has enhanced that
Oh,
skill?
100%. Like just through pure exposure to more words.
Yeah.
Because as an author, you were trying to accurately describe people, places, scenes, and actions, but you're trying to do it in the least amount of words possible, too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, through that journey, through trying to do that, authors find words that are more descriptive, that, words with syllables, that are more accurately describing, like, you can say mad or you can say furious.
Mm-hmm.
And those two words feel very different, both in the ear and in the mouth. And so much of that is just through exposure, through reading books on pages, through doing audiobooks, because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And that is huge. Like how I remember things and how I memorize things is so much through listening.
Cool. That's cool to hear.
Yeah, it's like, so I like to do a lot of like character voices for like when I play D&D and stuff like that. And a lot of times when I have a particular character of a character voice that I want to shape, I'll find some other character. Like I had a character named Vermac. I talked about this a little bit in
I
100.
I got a sneak peek,
Yeah.
but say it anyways because I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's so I was playing this character Vermac, and I wanted this kind of like Russian Slavic accent. So I listened to voice lines from Braum from League of Legends, and I'm just like, that's exactly the voice that I want to do. So I would listen to a line, and I'd try to do the line, and then I'd listen to the line and try to do it, and it's just
Yeah.
so fun. But yeah, listening to books, reading books, it's going to expand your vocabulary. And then as you're talking, you're going to be reaching for more accurate words. And I will say, I have a bit of an advantage. I have a lot of practice talking
Yeah.
about books, writing reviews, talking to people like this, and through author adjacent. I swear I did not walk out of the womb eloquent. And I don't think I am that eloquent now, but I appreciate you saying so.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, another practical question for you. So like,
Yeah, hit me.
um, recently I've been thinking about when I read these books. I think I saw a YouTube video on this certain topic. Like,
Hmm.
when I'm reading a book, let's just say, for example, and this is true for me. Like, when I read about architecture, for me, it's very hard to picture that. And I think the advice of the YouTube video was, okay, well, if you can't picture architecture, go learn about architecture and the words of architecture. So like, what do you
Yeah.
do practically when you like can't explain something? Like, let's just say it's architecture. Like, do you go, look it up on Google? Like, how does that process work? Because I'm sure you learn a lot through the writing process, and that like I don't even know how to describe this. Like what do you do? Do you go look something up? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm very much a visual person. Like I love pictures. Like how I think in my brain is through like images and motion and video. Like when I'm trying to write a scene, I picture that scene in my head. When I'm trying to like write a description of scenery, like a building or a field or something, if I can't picture it in my brain, I'll look it up. Like I will look it up on Google Images, and just search fantasy magic castle, and then I'll scroll through the images until I get something that's like close to what I'm looking for. A lot of times I can narrow that down based on where are my people out at in the world of the story and what real world culture is inspiring this one.
Yeah.
So like within Crownfall, we have two main peoples, two main cultures. We have Burunt, which is the island that the story takes place on, and they are inspired by Persian and a few other island nations off the coast of right in between where Africa and Europe meet.
Okay.
And then we have the Prekaz Empire, which are roughly based off like Slavic nations, and they have that kind of like architecture, they have that kind of clothing, they come from that kind of climate.
Yeah.
And so I think of those things and I'm like, okay, I have this person, I'm trying to describe their clothes. I've never described a kaftan before. I don't really have the words for it because no one in my real life wears a kaftan.
Yeah.
And a kaftan is just this long vest slash dress outfit that was very common and still is in certain parts of the world. And so I'll look up kaftans, and I may even be saying this name wrong because I never hear the word. I've just seen it written. I did the research for this is what this kind of outfit is called. But I'll look up a lot of pictures and different varieties of people wearing these and be like, oh, okay. And then just as practice, I'll just look at the picture and write down what do I see. Not trying to describe the character or the scene or anything. It's just, what do I see? I see this long flowing garment that is tight on the shoulders and loose through the chest and stomach that flow down to the floor.
Okay.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Poured over that description. That's what I'm trying to do.
Wow. That's really good. Thank you for that.
Of course. It's just practice. Like you're going to mess up a lot. But through all of that messing up, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
And then you'll realize, oh, I can do even better, and then even better, and even better, and you just keep going.
Yeah. You mentioned this earlier, but your wife is obviously a big supporter. How has
Yes.
that been? Like having that support system. Does she also like love books too? Like, is that why she's an editor?
So she is only an editor for my books.
Okay.
I've talked to her about it, and I've been like, hey, like if you wanted to make a career out of this, you could because you're
Yeah.
really good at it. And she loves stories too. Like she reads a lot. She listens to a lot of different audiobooks and stuff like that. And she even introduced me to one of my favorite series of all time, which is The Lightbringer by Brent Weeks, because that is just some of the best character work ever. But my wife suffers from the fact that she is amazingly talented at almost everything that she does. So she can do a lot of different things and is unfortunately cursed with only 24 hours in a day. So she only can do so much.
Yeah.
But I've told her multiple times, like, if she wanted to do, like, full-time editing, she would kill it. But right now she has, like, all these other companies. She is a software engineer like myself. She has, like, a food brand company, and she's got, like, all these other things that she's got going on. And she's just incredibly talented, very smart, and very driven. As far as, like, what was the process like with, like, working with her for, like, the editing process on the story? I believe that was part of your question.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. As far as that goes, like I said, there were a lot of amazing things on it. Having her support, I would not be here without her support. And she is really good about pushing me to be better. And that can be very frustrating at times because, you get tired and you get frustrated and you're like, I'm done. This is good enough.
Yeah.
But she has an amazing talent for going like, you know what? I think you can do better. And just encouraging me to try again and just dig a little deeper. Yeah. And the result is this incredibly polished book. Like, that's probably the most common compliment I get on this is just like, people read it and they're like, they don't think it's an indie. It doesn't feel like an indie book. It's a very polished story. It's well put together.
Yeah. That's a great compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that. Every time I get that, I'm just like, I'm going to pass that compliment on to my wife because she's an amazing editor and she didn't let me be lazy.
Yeah. That is awesome. Okay. Very cool. Okay. So back to the favorite books.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a like number one? Or is it just like those books are like kind of monumental for you?
If I had to pick one, I would actually pick Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
And that's just because that book literally changed my life.
Yeah.
There have been many books that have had great impacts on me.
Yeah.
But that one was the first time I ever read that was how I got really into Stoicism. And I'm just like, this is a philosophy that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That I can align my life to and find happiness in the difficulties of the world. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I am a practicing Stoic. I try really hard to keep those things in mind, where I try to choose how I emotionally react to anything, because the only thing I can really control is myself. Yep. Nothing else. I can't control the weather, other people, whether the building will fall down right now. The only thing I can control is myself and my reactions to things. And that was just such a life-changing book for me. And I don't think I could have gotten this far into being an author if I hadn't read that book first.
Okay. Awesome. Um, are you a fan of Ryan Holiday?
I do not know that off the top of my head. Is that the modern Stoic?
Yes, I think so.
I've seen a lot of his shorts, but yes. I've seen a lot of his short form videos, but I have not read his books yet.
Yeah, I think. What's the one? Something about the enemy is the one I read. It was pretty good. But a lot of the values and philosophy you were talking about. So,
Yeah.
I enjoy that type of stuff too. I think you'll find this cool as well. Um, like in school, when we read stuff, like whether it be the Odyssey or whatever it is, like I didn't pay much attention to it. Like I wasn't in that time of my life. I wasn't paying attention to it. But now that I've been reading more, I have a new passion for it, and it's like even fiction. Like honestly, fiction for me, I learned so much with fiction. But I just started reading the Iliad for the first time in like forever. Like I read it once in high school, but I don't remember it at all. And like I'm reading the intro, and it's like talking about Greek history and like who is Homer. Is Homer a collective? Like this stuff is so cool, and like it's never been in my mind until I started reading more. But I say that I guess maybe I'm just talking about myself at this point. But
you're doing great, man.
To put it back to your meditations thing, like I can learn so much from a book, and I just think that's the coolest thing. I think
there's so much about the books that we like that you're forced to read in like high school and middle school, where it's just like you don't have the patience, you don't have the maturity to really appreciate what you're being exposed to in this moment.
Yeah.
But the great thing about being exposed to it back then is like now in your current age, you can be like, oh yeah, there was that story. I'm going to go revisit it. And then now you're old enough, you're patient enough, you can wait, you're willing to ingest a difficult story and learn something from it. Like there's so many things that like you're exposed to when you're young that you just can't appreciate.
Yeah.
So you get to revisit them when you're older and you have the choice.
I think also, I mean, you probably saw it in Sun Eater, Greek and Roman influences all over that. But same thing with Red Rising. So another thing to get you excited about. I mean, it's just Roman Empire in space type vibe. So I think
so much of fantasy and sci-fi is just Roman fan fiction.
I know it seems to be. But that's another reason why I love like going through the Iliad and going through these Greek stories. It's like so much of our culture is based off of these stories. And now I'm actually getting these names for the first time. Like I thought it would be a lot harder for me, but as I go through the intro and I watched like one video, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Now I understand like the linear story that is the Iliad, and now I can like frame my mind. Very cool. But
I hope you enjoy it, man. Like it's gonna be a fun read to revisit that.
Yeah. Okay. Last question for you. Do you read more than one book at a time?
I do now. I used to not. I used to be a very dedicated, monogamous, one book at a time man. But now with just like all the various demands that I have, I generally do read more than one book at a time. At the most, I will do 3. Okay. But that's mostly just different formats. I will have a physical book that I'm reading, an ebook that I'm reading on my computer, or not my computer, my phone, and then I'll just have an audiobook that I'm listening to. Because I don't, most of my reading is through audiobooks, just because of like, my life is very busy, and I can listen to an audiobook while I'm doing the dishes or lifting in the garage or something, and I don't have to sit down and stop everything that I'm doing to consume a story. Yeah. But I also try to consume a lot of indie books, and not all indie books have audiobooks. Yeah. So I try to make time to sit down and read them, and like what I'm doing with Spiffbo right now, most of them don't have an audiobook, so I'm trying to make that time to sit down and really read them and really dig into them so that I can understand their stories. So at most, I will read 3 at a time.
Okay. So
what about yourself?
It's hard for me to read like you said, more than 3 at a time.
Yeah.
I try to honestly, I only read really one at a time. But if it's a different, like whole different genre, like I'm reading Bound and the Broken,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can read something like the Iliad because
Yeah. It's so
I
different.
guess it is technically fantasy, but like very very different. But if I'm reading like Bound and the Broken, I can't read a Red Rise. Like I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Especially if they're a huge series, I want to be fully invested in the characters. And I think I just have to go back to back to back. Unless I don't like the series, then yeah, I'll drop it. But
Yeah.
if it's something like Bound and the Broken where I'm like absolutely loving it, I'm gonna go back to back. Cause like why not? Like and it's fun to kind of have these like eras, especially for content too. Like a lot of like Bound and the Broken content and like having discussions about that with people online. Like that's so fun to me, to be invested in a series. But what I was gonna ask you is, you mentioned you're a software engineer.
Yes.
Where do you find the time to read? And is it a struggle for you to balance with what you've got going on with software engineer, your wife, like all of this? How do you find the balance?
Yeah. So the first question, how do I find the time to read with like having a full-time job as a software engineer? A lot of my reading time is after work and in the evening. Like
Okay.
if I have to physically read a book, or physically read like a digital book, that's usually what I'm doing. Is like maybe when I'm waiting for food to heat up, I'll pull up my phone and read a few more pages. Or if I'm just like doing something small, I'll try to sneak in a few pages here or there. But most of my serious reading, when I have to physically read, is definitely after work in the evening, those times. Because my morning time, I get up at like 5 in the morning. That's very normal for me. I'm a morning person.
Yeah.
That's my writing time. That's my productive time. So I usually don't read too much then. And then if I'm doing an audiobook, like I walk around the house with these arrow pecks on,
Yeah.
and it's just they're almost never off me. Like they're
Okay.
either around my neck or on my ears. I find them immensely comfortable. So, and I'll just always be listening to a book. And if it's like, if I go for a bike ride, if I lift, if I'm taking care of stuff in the yard or I'm doing chores around the house, if I am not having to pay attention to something with my brain, I'm listening to a book.
Yeah.
And that's how I get through so many.
Have you ever done an author adjacent episode while listening to a book?
No,
Okay,
no,
good.
absolutely not.
Okay.
So like, I can't. I can't do words here and here at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
It's like when I'm coding, when I'm working, I like to listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
But it's all voiceless music. It's all there is no language in it. That's
Yeah.
why I can't listen to an audiobook while I work either, because either the words will draw me in and I'll pay attention to that and I won't be writing code, or I'll be writing the code and I'll have no idea what's being said in the story or the song.
Yeah. Yeah, it can get confusing. When
Quite
did you
hairy.
start liking audiobooks? Because that's something I haven't really got into.
Yeah.
Like I think I've read one or two. And honestly, this is a cool time because I think reading the Iliad and it being first an oral story, like I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stories that I know would be cool being heard as like a performance. Like I think it would be
Yeah.
really cool. So also, I love to like make my questions as long as possible. Sorry about
It's all right. I'm going to remember every step.
that. Okay, yeah.
Try.
Okay. But yeah, when did
But
the
also-
audiobook love start?
Oh,
Yeah.
so the audiobook love, I honestly have not thought of that in a long time, because I used to be pure physically read, and I would sit down all the time and just
Yeah.
read. And I think where that really started to change for me is when I started getting into running and biking. Because I would listen to music when I first got into those things. And then eventually I was just like, oh, I like books. I don't have as much time to read books as I used to, because while I started out very young as a very avaricious reader, I had to read a whole bunch. I went many years for not reading very much at all. It happens to a lot of people when you go from like high school to like college and early adulthood. You got other priorities and other things pulling you away from doing that.
Yeah.
But when I eventually started coming back to it, I'm like, man, I'm so busy, but I want to read books. And then audiobooks started getting more popular and they started becoming more available. And I was just like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love audio. I love listening to these people tell these stories. And when you get like a really good narrator and they just dig into the story and they're good with the voices, I'm just like, man, I'm so invested. I'm so there in the moment. While in real life, I'm pedaling my ass off up this hill and I don't want to be thinking about the physical pain that my legs and back are in. So, I'll just fall into this story.
Yeah. No, exactly. I think I was. I work remote. Do you work remote as well for software
I
engineering?
do, and I love it.
Yeah, same here. But like, the reason I say that is, like, it's been stressful today at work. But then once I picked up this, I was like, whoa, like, the power of just like picking up a book and like being able to jump inside a world is just so cool to me. It's amazing how that works. So I mean, have you watched any anime at all? I know you mentioned Naruto and stuff like that.
Yes. I used to watch a lot more anime, but yes, I've watched a lot of it.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too, but that gives me an appreciation for like the voice acting. Like there's so much skill in voice acting too, and like especially if you have to do a novel, like what you're doing, like so many different voices and for that long. And I don't know if it was MJ or Nicholas that said this on your episode, but to do the same voice like throughout, like
consistently,
because you'll switch POV and then like let's just say 50 pages later you got to do it again and remember that voice, which is like I didn't even think about that when I was watching.
A lot of that is
like, oh, that's a great point.
A lot of that is just like you have a touchstone, like so. Like these characters that I've played in like D&D and stuff like that, I have to keep this voice for years. I don't know if you've played Dungeons and Dragons before, but like these campaigns can go for a very long time.
Yeah.
And the same with like audiobook narration is like you have these touch point phrases where it's just like you say the phrase in the accent and it's just like boom, that gets you right into it because like it's very inflective of what that voice is. Like for Vermac, it was hello.
Yeah.
I would just say hello and like, okay, cool. I know who Vermac is. I know his voice. He's down and in the back of my throat. Let's go. And you do the same thing with audiobook narration, or at least this is what I'm doing, is I'll have a recording of the character and it'll just be this touchstone phrase of, it's usually them introducing themselves.
Okay.
Like I am Jeller Degaro or whatever my name is. And it's just in the voice that I plan to do them in. Okay. Because then I can just introduce the character to myself as like a little practice line and be like, okay, yes, we're Jeller Degaro. We're a Prakaz engineer far from home. We have this kind of like vague Russian Spanish accent and go.
That's so cool. I have not played Dungeons and Dragons, but I have played
super fun.
I have played Baldur's Gate. So like
nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably had like it's a considerable amount of hours, so I've spent time on it. So I know the premise.
Have you beaten it?
No, I haven't. I haven't beaten it.
Neither have I.
I need to
I've
get
played
back
so
on
much.
It. I was like a dwarf, and like I would just walk around. It was so funny, but
there's so many cool things you can do in that game.
Yeah, it's such a big world. Like I'm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So playing Dungeons and Dragons is like that. Except for all the rules are a lot looser, and the limits of what you can and can't do are also looser. Like if you decide, like when you're playing a video game, you have like a dialogue tree of 4 options. Mm-hmm. But if you're in that same dialogue in Dungeons and Dragons, you can say literally anything you can think of, or you can punch the dude in the face and deal with the consequences.
Yeah,
you got options.
Like, have you played with players that like are just evil and just like kill things?
So those are called murder hobos.
Okay.
And kind of. So we have one of the players in my group. He does tend to like words lean towards evil characters.
Okay.
And it's like he just wants to be evil sometimes.
Okay.
But he's kind of like, for the sake of the group, he doesn't do it too much. And that's kind of the problem with an evil character is like when you have a band of 4 adventurers and one of them is evil, why would the other 3 adventure with this evil person?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to do, like, you have an evil person. And it's also just difficult to kind of, like, when you do an evil campaign, it's like, well, if you're evil and you do anything, what's to stop you from doing anything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still play Magic the Gathering?
I do. I have a bunch of cards on the floor right over there as I'm in the process of building or rebuilding a new deck. It's something that I get with my friends like every 2 weeks, and we'll play for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like it's one of the things that I do to kind of like relieve the pressure on all the stress that I give myself.
Yeah.
Because like I'm trying to write more books. I'm writing short stories for anthologies. I'm doing the Author Adjacent podcast. I'm trying to become a narrator. I'm trying to be active on social media. I'm trying to do my job, take care of my house, my wife, my pets. And it's just like you have all these responsibilities. You got to make sure that you have things that you also just like to do for the joy of it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to burn yourself out. And playing Magic the Gathering with my friends every 2 weeks is like, that is I relieve so much stress by going around a table and just yelling at my friends about how dare they destroy my monster and how I'm going to wreak vengeance on them. It's good old-fashioned fun.
So it's not just 1v1 then?
No. So that's how the format originally started out, but I play a format called Commander.
Okay.
And we're so far of the field, but I'm going to give a brief overview. It's usually a 4-person game. You have a deck of 100 cards, and one of those cards is your commander, who is just out, and you can play him whenever you have the resources to play him. Okay. And like that's how you play. It's all 4 of us versus each other, and we have a bunch of different like formats that we play. We have these like WWE belts that we play for. Like if you win this format, you get this belt and you wear it across your chest. It's just so fun.
Yeah,
like it's just a bunch of like nerdy guys having a great time.
That is epic. I love that. Maybe I'll get into it. We'll see.
I will tell you, it can be an expensive hobby.
Okay.
It's like cardboard crack.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, same thing with Pokemon. I mean, buying all the cards, it's like
exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, D&D, that can be nearly free.
Okay.
But Magic the Gathering, that's expensive.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it in terms of the questions I had. But again, thank you.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. No. Thank you for coming on, spending some time. Before we leave, I want to do one more. Where can people find you, and also where can people support your book? Do you have a website where people can buy it from? Let us know.
Yeah, so you can find me, Michael Vadney, on all the social medias at Michael_Vadney. It's the same thing on X, Instagram, TikTok. I think I have a Blue Sky and a Threads as well, but I'm not as active on those. I think I'm also on Facebook. Again, not super active. You can also find me on the Author Adjacent podcast. I have new episodes every Friday, and then bonus episodes whenever I feel like it. But as far as Crownfall, this noble dark fantasy adventure, the best place to get it to support me is if you are in the U.S., you can order it through my website, michaelvadney.com/store, and I can sign it for you. I'll mail it to you from this very office. And if you are international, or if you got that Amazon gift card and you want to spend that up, you can also get it on Amazon. It is also available on Kindle Unlimited if you're more of an ebook person and you have that subscription as well. Audiobook hopefully coming by the end of the year, but we'll see what happens with that.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you very much, Michael. That'll be it. Kruckshelf. Let's do it. Episode 1 is going to be out soon. All right. See you guys.
Woo!